And I didn't realize how bad I felt until I felt better. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today I'm going to be talking about the big reason that I decided to lose weight, and I will talk about my goals because some people have asked about that, like what are my specific weight loss goals, and I'll also talk about some of the research that I've done, but I want to go ahead and jump in and give you the reason first now. So as you know, I was vegan, or I lived a plant-based lifestyle since 2013, and over the past couple of years there was a bit of like a steady decline in how I felt, but I was very comfortable within my lifestyle as someone who is vegan or plant-based, and it was a little hard to identify what was like a symptom of my diet not working for me and what could have just been life, you know, like as you get older things change. So it was super hard to identify the root issue of a lot of the things I was experiencing. But the like aha moment for me was once I found a little bit more balance in my life. I felt so good, and I didn't realize how bad I felt until I felt better. Like the whole you don't know what you don't know until you know kind of situation, and also the hindsight is 2020 situation. Now that I'm so far removed from where I used to be, I can look back and say, yeah, I should have made some changes then, but I ignored it, or I explained it away, or what have you. And that got me thinking a lot about being plus size. I've been plus size my entire life, and I felt good, but I don't have anything to compare it to. I can evaluate as an adult that I don't know everything. Like, I don't know that I wouldn't feel better if I lost some weight. And I just want to know, like, that's literally the reason I'm losing weight, because I don't know what it's like to not be plus size, because I've always been plus size. And I know that some people are thin when they're younger and then they gain weight like after high school. So their experience being plus size is much different than my experience being plus size, because I've been fat and I've also been active. So I think my life as a plus size person might be different than a plus size person that also grew up fat, but they weren't in any kind of sports or activities. I was a competitive cheerleader. I tumbled, I jumped, I competed, 2-a-day practices for school and for clubs. So sometimes that was 4 hours of practices, especially in the summer. Like, so I know that my life as a plus size person is different than the life of other people as plus size people, but even within knowing that, there's still a lot of unknown. And I do want to say, metabolically, I'm healthy. Like, I don't have diabetes, I don't have high blood pressure, like none of those things are concerns for me as far as losing weight. And I do think it's worth noting, have I said that multiple times during this video? Probably. I'm sorry if I keep saying I do think it's worth noting. But in the process of trying to figure out why I wasn't feeling good on a plant-based diet, we did some genetic testing as well. And one of my genetic markers says that I'm less likely to have health complications as a result of being obese. So genetically, even if I stayed plus size the rest of my life, I probably wouldn't get high blood pressure, diabetes, etc. And I think that's partly genetics and partly like environmental genetics, like lifestyle basically. I eat a lot of vegetables. I grew up mostly vegetarian and pescatarian, so I ate a lot of salads growing up. Even though I was fat, I've always eaten well-ish in comparison, I think, to a lot of people. Just, I know I'll speak for like my actual life, not just in general. So high blood pressure, diabetes, etc. I don't think those are fat diseases or fat disorders. I think those are lifestyle diseases and lifestyle disorders, and they're not exclusive to fat people. So anyhow, jumping off of my soapbox. So after I changed my diet and I decided, okay, I am going to pursue intentional weight loss, I set some loose goals. I didn't want to set anything too strict because over the years, I've realized your body isn't really something you can control, for lack of a better term. Like, you can set goals and you can work towards those goals, and most of the time you can reach them, but sometimes your body's just gonna do what it wants to. Sometimes it's gonna spike in weight, sometimes it's gonna drop in weight. So I wanted to set really loose and healthy goals. So I set a goal to lose 50 pounds this year. I've lost 40 pounds since January, so about 6 months in, and hopefully in the next half of the year I'll lose 10 more pounds to get to my goal. But I thought, okay, that's healthy and sustainable. That's losing about a pound a week for a year, and then a couple of weeks where maybe I go up in weight. And I think that's healthy and sustainable. And I also want to lose 50 pounds next year and maybe 20 to 30 pounds the year following that. I think that's very healthy. I think I don't want to go into any kind of weight loss putting a lot of pressure on myself. Like, I want to lose 100 pounds in a year. And if you want to do that, fine, do whatever you want. But based on like my Weight Watchers app, I lose an average of 1.7 pounds a week, and that's good and that's healthy, and that's what my goal is. I have other small goals too, and these are the more superficial goals. And something I dislike about the body positive community is it's like, you can only lose weight if it's for your health. Like, there are other reasons people might want to lose weight. One of mine, I want to shop at Free People. I love Free People. They don't make size fat. So to have like extra shopping options to, if you have an event to go to, which as an influencer, sometimes I have events that I need to go to, and not to have to like order things online or have a very limited amount of places that I can go to in person to try to find something, to not have to wear pretty much the same thing as all fat girls, because I know there's a lot of options, but the amount of options divided by the amount of fat girls, you're always wearing the same thing as someone else. That's just true. That's one of kind of the silly reasons I'm losing weight. And editing Eden here, I do also want to add, if we decide to have children, I would like to be at a smaller body weight so that I have more control over my care. The rate in which Black women die post-childbirth is alarming, and being obese during pregnancy only adds to that. I also have a hip injury from cheerleading. Whew. It hasn't been bad recently, but I do have arthritis in both of my hips. So I think the winter before last, when I'd get in my car, I'd have to like lift my leg into my car because my hip hurt so badly that I couldn't like lift it with just the muscle. I've had to do lots of cortisone shots. I look like a zebra and stuff in my hip since I was a teenager, and I'll have arthritis if I'm plus size or not. But in the event that losing weight could release or lessen the pressure on it, I'm willing to take that risk. And when I was a teenager, they made it clear to me that at some point I might need a hip replacement. We didn't want to do it then because I was young and I wasn't done growing, but that's also something that I keep in mind. Another reason is booths. Booths are very uncomfortable. I mean, they're the most comfortable seating in a restaurant. It's like a couch, but you're eating. But I don't want my stomach to touch the table. Traveling is uncomfortable, even though if you're a plus size babe that's watching this for some reason that doesn't want to lose weight, Southwest has, I almost said South by Southwest because I live in Austin and that's our music festival here. Southwest has the best customer size policy. All you have to do is when you get to the gate, say, hey, I'd like to use your customer size policy. They will give you an extra seat. You just sit it on your seat. You can even pre-board to make sure that you have 2 seats, and it's super nice. You can also buy your seat ahead of time, then call the 800 number after your flight and they'll fund you for the second flight, which that's nice and that's fantastic, but it's still not comfortable. Like, the seat's this big, your ass is this big, you're sitting in the middle of two seats, which the seats have this thing that like cups your butt like this, so you're like a cup, and your butt's in the middle, so you're sitting like on the crease of a seat. It's not comfortable, and I fit in one seat the majority of the time, but there have been times where I needed a second seat, and it's just, it's not comfortable, okay? Movie theater seats, not comfortable. My boyfriend loves going to movies, but they're not comfortable. Like, the next day feeling like, why am I sore on like the side of my fat rolls? Because the movie theater seat was pushing into your freaking sides for 2.5 hours. Then the next day you're sore. And I love body positivity. I admire fat acceptance activists for what they're doing, but those things aren't going to change in my lifetime. And I would like to be comfortable for the rest of my lifetime. And those things are just like small things that you want to do. Like, you want to go out to eat with your loved ones, you want to go to the movies, you want to travel, and you want to be comfortable. You want to be able to, like, on a whim, book a flight to somewhere, not have to worry about like, am I going to fit on this plane? Do I need a second seat? Is a second seat going to be available? Like, things like that. So I think it's okay to have like those kinds of reasons to lose weight as well. So those are like, my big reason is I don't know what I don't know. And my small reasons are all of those little reasons. If you feel like something's wrong, like over the past few years, I knew something was wrong. Like, I knew it. And some doctors told me nothing was wrong, and I didn't believe it because I knew myself, and I knew like how quickly I usually heal, and like all these other little things that I was experiencing. I knew something wasn't right. So if you feel like something isn't right and like you're not losing weight for a reason, or you're not feeling well, don't let doctors dismiss you because you're plus size, or because there doesn't seem to be anything wrong like from face value. You probably, if something feels like it's wrong in your body, it probably is. The Obesity Code, that book was really helpful as well. I listened to it on Audible. This isn't sponsored or anything. Health at Every Size was also very helpful, which it's health at every size, not healthy at every size, but I do really like Health at Every Size because it explains how the losing and gaining cycle really kind of increases your body's homeostasis levels, and it fights against losing weight. So that was helpful for me, and the Obesity Code was super helpful for me because Dr. Fung is a weight loss doctor, and he goes through like every study that's ever been done on dieting and kind of like debunks them and tells why they don't work and tells you what you should do instead. And like, these books are totally opposite side of the spectrum, but like, I kind of took what I needed from each one and then applied my life experience to like, if something in my life rang true to one of the two books, like I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's validating, that makes sense, I should take that to my care team or see how I feel with this or whatever. So the Obesity Code was amazing. He talks a lot about how like doctors over like prescribe calories in versus calories out, but they don't look at the person. He's like, someone who's been plus size their entire life versus someone who gained weight, say after college, their experiences losing weight are going to be completely different, and it's going to be much harder for the person that's been overweight their entire life because they may have their homeostasis is different, their insulin resistance may be different. He goes into all of this stuff that like kind of debunks the whole calorie in, calorie out thing, which we all know we have to be in a deficit to lose weight, but how you get there can be very personal. How you get your body into the condition where a deficit can work can be different, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So it's very individual. So it's not always going to be as easy as calories in versus calories out. And that's where the Obesity Code really like helped me with a mindset shift to like really pursue my care and like really go after answers that, like, when I knew something was wrong, like, that book really helped me pursue, like, and fiercely pursue answers. So if you're overweight and you haven't read the Obesity Code, it's incredibly boring to listen to. Incredibly boring, but so informative. So informative. Same thing with Health at Every Size. It's actually kind of fun and spunky, that book. Some things in there don't make sense to me. I don't think intuitive eating can be for everyone. I think intuitive eating should really only be done under the guidance of a dietitian. That's just my personal opinion. That's how I feel with intuitive eating. I don't always love the listen to your body approach, because your body's not like this all-knowing supercomputer. It can be pretty dumb, actually. Like, your body may say, I'm full and I'm satisfied, but then you drive by and you smell French fries and all of a sudden you're hungry again. You're not hungry, you just ate. Like, your body's not that smart. So I don't love always the principles of intuitive eating. And I do want to kind of say that, even though I just said that, I do understand that there's like a difference between like physical like satisfaction and satiation and emotional satisfaction. And I do think there should be like joy in the things that you're eating, and you should love the things you're eating. It shouldn't be like this robotic, sorry I burped, shouldn't be like this robotic thing where it's just like fuel, like, what a boring life, right? That's why it has to be balanced. And that's why I think between those two pieces of literature and then digging into all the studies and working with a dietitian, I've come to a point in life where I think I can lose weight in a healthy, sustainable way and be happy and do it for life. Do I think I'll need to track via WW for life? Maybe. Like, I feel like I may need to check in for life just to make sure, you know. And this is probably a taboo thing to say, but I think within structure, like within like your macros or your calories or your points, you can eat intuitively within a structured program. Like, it doesn't have to, and I know some people say, no, that's not true. Intuitive just means you eat what you want till you're satisfied, you let your body lead you. Sure, but I think you can eat intuitively within some kind of structure. And I think some people just need structure. Like, there are some people that will never be independently employed because they like the structure of having like a hierarchy in corporate. You know, they like that structure of work. They like the structure of a schedule. Like, some people just work better within structure. So that was a whole rambly video that probably made little to no sense. You guys tell me if it made sense. I'm gonna upload it anyway. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, remember to keep an open mind. I have an open mind, keep an open heart. Practice unconditional compassion, but don't take shit from anyone. I love you guys endlessly, and I hope you love yourselves even more. We'll talk really soon. Bye.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through